Hello, and welcome to We Are the Drugs podcast, episode number 10, season 2. So I'm joined by Owen and Richie as usual. How are we doing, chaps?
Yeah, not bad, lads.
Yeah, all good.
Cool. So unfortunately we have to talk about the football, lads.
Overdue.
Is there not a political scandal we can talk about instead? No.
Yeah.
We've been dying to talk about football and now we have to, and I don't want to.
Yeah, I know, it's fucking mad, isn't it?
Fuck's sake. Right, look, we'll start on a reasonably positive note. Friday against bohs. I thought we were the better side and we should have won.
Yeah, I agree, without a doubt. Definitely, and in fairness to bohs, bohs are flying around coming into this game. You know, they were sitting top of the table, and I definitely thought we were the better team. I thought Dawson Devine didn't dominate the game like he usually does, or Ross Taney. I thought we played really well, and it's really, really impressed with us on Friday.
Owen?
Yeah, kind of echo what Richie said. We had the better of the chances. I think any of the chances both had really was kind of one of our lads making a mistake and then trying to capitalise on it. But yeah, kind of disappointed at the end we didn't take the 3 points against them. Obviously would have took a draw before the game started, but yeah, it was a good performance all around.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying there, Richie, bohs are flying. They are. If you look at the table, obviously they were top of the table going into that game, but I think they had 2 draws in the 2 games previous to that, and apparently Dundalk, were all over them in their game, and Dundalk should have won that match. So you're kind of going into the game against bohs thinking a lot of possibility of getting something out of this game, and it turned out that way because, Jesus, man, another night of missed chances. But I mean, bohs, I had a look at the highlights earlier on because, you know, when you've 2 games, Friday, Monday, the Friday game feels like it's ages ago at this stage, but kind of forgetting what happened. But the only kind of real chances, in the highlights anyway, was that back pass by Abaje, the underhit back pass, and Whelan ran through and picked up the ball. And I thought Dennison did quite well. He came right out to his line and just kind of smothered it. And then, I think your man Diallo had a chance at the end and he could have lashed it straight at Dennison. But I can't think of any other real chances that they had.
No, definitely not. But it's such a fine margin now, isn't it? In this division, like every game is decided on moments. We can't not talk about Doyle's chance in the first couple of minutes. Was it first couple of minutes? It was, wasn't it?
Yep. It was early on, yeah.
Yeah, he has to be scoring that, lads. There's no two ways about it. And you go 1-0 up at home so early on, I mean, like that. Like, we were well up for that game on Friday, you know, I just think a lot of big moments are going against us at the minute.
Right, look, I suppose that's the elephant in the room. There's a lot of discussion since yesterday's game about, you know, the fact that we don't have an out-and-out striker, and, you know, is Doyle good enough? And a lot of people giving him grief and all that. But as we've stated over the last few weeks, you know, Mianti had ball, she'd be uncle, but if he had to put that penalty away against Pats, he'd be joint top scorer in the league. So, you know, he has had unbelievable opportunities even over the last 2 games to put the ball in the net, and he hasn't. But he did score. He did score on Monday, and is it Doyle's fault? Is he getting the service? Does he need 10 chances every game to score 1? Is he that kind of player? Or what's the feeling there?
I'll let you take that one on.
Yeah, like a lot of people are saying about the strike. I don't think the strikers where our problem is. I know I said it to you earlier today. So the first 10 games of last season, we scored 14, conceded 4, and now this year we've scored 11, conceded 14. So we've conceded 10 more goals this season in the first 10 than last year. So it's at the back seems to be the problem. There's only a couple of lads that have scored more goals than Mark Doyle this season. Like, he probably should have 2 or 3 more. I think it's more on the defence. I know Richie mentioned, look, we're not really getting a rub of the green at all either. It's more frustration than that. We've been really good in some games, and then just kind of the second half, particularly, we've kind of dropped off. But even some of that, we still should have more points than what we do, I think.
Yeah, I know. At this time last season, we 18 points. This time last season.
Yeah.
Now look, we've 10. I know it's 8 points. It's 8 points. It's a lot. But like, are we actually playing better football this season than last season? Football-wise.
Depends how you define better football, Richie.
Like, I mean, we're actually trying to play football this season, aren't we? We're trying to play through the midfield. We're trying to get lads on the ball instead of just kicking it into the corners. Like, is that just me, or like?
No, you're
what
right.
do you think? Like,
you're right. Kavanagh and Ian O'Brien and Godden and all that. There's more ball in us this year, but it's obviously not working. Like, I think people would fucking go back to what we were doing last year if we had the same amount of points.
Yeah, but like last year, everybody was giving out at that, weren't they? Exactly. Oh, we have to keep the ball more, and like, like what do people want here? Like, to me, I think we've a lot of new blood, we've a lot of new players in this squad, and I still don't think they're clicking together just yet as a team. I think it's going to take another while, lads.
Right. Well, look, we have to kind of take this in two halves. The game Friday night, like, I came out of that game, like, upbeat, because I thought we performed really well against the league leaders and a team that have kind of dominated us in the middle of the park, and they didn't. I thought O'Brien and Godden, they're the 2 starting midfielders for me now, and Kavanagh. Like, it was a game of missed chances, and we talked about that. Like, we have to put our chances away. But as we said, Doyle is up there with the top goal scorers in the league, as is. Warren Davis missed some chances. Warren Davis isn't going to get the same amount of grief as Doyle, because Doyle seems to be a bit of a scapegoat now for a few people out there giving him stick. This annoys me. It's like, you know what I mean? I think people were doubting Doyle before he came in. And even if he gets 10 goals this season, there'll be people out there that'll still be criticising him.
Mm.
Because he's not the kind of player that they're looking for. He's not he's not your number 9. He's not an out-and-out goal scorer. But, Jesus, he gets himself in good positions, and he just needs to start putting them away a little bit more. But, I'm sure if Warren keeps playing and gets fitter, and, because obviously we've been out of the game for a while and all that, but I don't think Warren will ever get the kind of stick that Doyle gets.
Yeah, and you know what? I wouldn't blame our attackers as such. Like, Donnelly, like, right, maybe Warren now could be a bit of a striker, but he's also played a lot out wide as well as a player. And so is Doyle. Like, they're basically wingers, aren't they, our strikers? They're all wingers, including the Lua.
Yeah.
So you've probably 3 lads trying to adapt to a position they're not so comfortable with, And plus, like, I don't know, I just think they're being a bit of a scapegoat. When we lose, it's their fault. They should be scoring a hat-trick every game. They shouldn't. They're not going to score a hat-trick every game. Like, the top goal scorer in our division at the minute is 5 goals. Like, what was Mark Doyle?
4. And missed the penalty.
Missed the penalty. So, as Owen said there, like, look at the goals we've conceded this year, lads. I think people have to start looking at the other end of the pitch now, at the minute. And I think we have to start with Luke Dennison. He's just not himself at the minute, lads.
Yeah, what's going on there, lads? It's worrying.
Yeah, and I'm not going to criticise the man. I think he's a brilliant keeper. I really do. But there's something not right with him at the minute.
His confidence looks absolutely shot every time. He's not coming for balls. He's not claiming balls. His kickouts are poor. He just looks like a shadow of himself. Like,
Yeah, and and we all know what Dennis was like. He was a fucking prick, wasn't he? He was winding up lads. He was confident. He was cocky. He was like,
yeah.
that's gone from it at the minute. You know, that confidence, that it's just missing. And
Do you reckon that he's putting the jitters up the lads because they just don't seem comfortable in front of him either? Like, I mean, even Keeley and Quinn can be, when we talk about the Galway game, we look back on that. I mean, Quinn didn't look very self-assured either. Is that something to do with the fact that he doesn't trust Dennison?
yeah, maybe so. Like, out of our back five, the only one that's playing really well at the minute is Conor Kane.
Yeah.
I don't think Keely's playing at the level that he played at last year, and either's Quinn. Now, Bulls has been in and out of the team a little bit, but I don't think they are playing at the level they did last year, lads.
I agree with that.
You know?
Yeah, that explains why we've conceded 10 more goals in the first 10 games. And half of them we've conceded 14. Half of them were in 2 games, Pats and Galway. But But then they turn around and they defend well against Rovers, defend well against bohs. So it's just getting consistency. That's the problem, like,
isn't it? And would you reckon that could be with all the new players in the team? Like, we have changed our style a little bit. I know we're still playing the same formation, but we're playing a lot more football in front of this back five now. We're playing around them. So, like last year, you're nearly getting the boot on it, kicking it up the pitch, getting their head on the clear and everything. Now they're nearly trying to play a bit of football. So it's new for them as well. The whole change of it.
Yeah, I suppose that's a valid point, but I don't think we've drastically changed how we play, do we?
No.
We're just trying to retain the ball a little bit more in the middle of the park, and you know,
we're passing around a bit more.
Yeah, we have played some nice football. If you look at the games, go through the games, there's been periods where we've played some really nice ball, played some lovely ball against bohs the other night. I mean, they struggled to get the ball off us at times in the middle of the park. I mean, you look at, Devoy and Tierney, and I think bohs missed Rooney big time, because normally he's kind of bombing it down the wing and pinging balls in from there, but they didn't get a chance to do that against us the other night.
No, definitely. And I think Friday night as well, I think Dotley was waiting for that game since last season.
After the 4-1.
Yeah, that was still fucking annoying, Dotley, so was.
Yeah.
So he had them well pumped up. I'm not saying he doesn't have them pumped up for every game, but I definitely do. They Friday nights and these fuckers ain't beating us again here, lads. You know. But it's look, I can understand people's frustration, like, Jesus, it's the same yesterday myself, like, and you can be a little bit carried away, can't you? Like, you need to stop somebody and give your head a wobble and look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, look, Owen will tell you the same. We were kind of laughing about it to ourselves, saying like the overreaction every time we go and lose a game that people don't think we should be losing. Again, we'll get on to the Galway game in time, but the overreaction is just fucking unbelievable. Like, people calling for Kevin's head again and all sorts of absolute fucking madness. But, yeah, look, we'll get to that in time, but just, I suppose, going back to the game against bohs, it was one of them performances where you're just kind of thinking, look, bohs coming to town, top of the league, saw a big time Charlie squad, like, spending an awful lot of money, and as you said, good draw against Rovers, a good draw against Derry, and then a good draw against bohs. I mean, you're not going to complain. Like, for us at our level where we are and where we want to be, they're 3 good results, especially coming back from 2-0 against Derry was brilliant. Then you have bohs at home and you get a draw, and you're saying, right, lads, this really sets us up to go into the Monday game yesterday against Galway, and Jesus. Yeah, what a total and utter disaster that was.
Yeah, it really was. And like, I don't think last season now, if we got went 2-0 up last year, I don't see us losing that game the way we played last season. You know, it's like it's just we were so solid, we were so built on not giving up any chances last year. The amount of chances we're just giving up this year.
But like, right, I don't know what is going on here, but there's like the old cliche, a game of two halves. I mean, nearly every single game this year we've either been really good in the first half and terrible in the second half, or vice versa. I mean, we just don't seem to be able to put in the 90 minutes. The only 90 minutes that I can remember us putting in that you'd be happy with was against Waterford. We went 2-0 up at home and we were consistently okay for the 90 minutes. I suppose against Rovers and Bohs as well, we were good for the 90 minutes. But other games like Pats away, Galway at home, Dundalk away, we just...
Yeah, even Shells at home, we were good the first half.
Shells at home, good the first half, absolutely dreadful in the second half. It's not a Kevin Doherty thing. I don't know what's going on with them. There's just something amiss.
Yeah,
and I know it's small margins, and I know small things change games. Like if he had scored that goal the other night and blah 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 blah, if the Galway player had got sent off, and you know what I mean, if the ref had did this, the ref had did that. But even withstanding all that, there's a weird vibe with the team at the minute. I think people are jittery when you're watching them. Like,
yeah, it's hard to put your finger on it, isn't it? But it's just, and now to me it's all going back to the night we played Dundalk that night. Like, it's been a shit show ever since. With everything going on that night and everything off the field, and is all this in the players' head still?
Owen?
Yeah, who knows? Like, I'd like to think we're kind of at the end of all that off the field shit now. Like, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They definitely have to be thinking of it. Like,
yeah,
I know some players definitely had it. It was a concern for them. Like, but yeah, I think going forward they should realise by now like that there's like Travella aren't going anywhere. Like their contracts are secure and everything. Yeah, it's just, it is. It's hard to put the finger on exactly what, like.
Yeah, like as you said, like, right. Look, maybe it's not that at all, lads. Maybe we're way off the mark here. Maybe it's nothing got to do at all, and it's just football. We're just not getting the rub of the green at the minute. Things are not going our way, which happens in football. Like it's well no different than any other team.
There's definitely a bit of that not getting like. Talk about Monday, like your man should have been Barrett should have been sent off for that elbow, like.
Yeah, that was horrendous.
That changed the game. We also should have had a penalty in that game as well. Mark Doyle got taken out by the keeper. He scores that. We're 3-1 up. Totally different game. If it wasn't blowing a gale, totally different game.
we had the gale in the first half, and it helped us, and then it helped them massively in the second half. There's no getting away from that.
Yeah, and they handled it better than we did. That's the.
Yeah, and in fairness, if there's ever two teams in the league that can use the bloody winter advantage, it's Drogheda and Galway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus, I think Galway were fucking chomping at the bit to get out for the second half because they're used to playing in fucking Terryland in the west.
Yeah.
It's fucking always windy over there. Like, they're well used to that.
Yeah. But like, right, but as I said, like when you stop and just have it, so as I said, give you a head of wobble, like, yes, you look, and I'm as bad as anybody, lads. You're fucking, the amount of giving out you do about it, and your emotions are all over the place, aren't they? You want this change, you want that change, and he's shit, and he's fucking shit, and get rid of fucking him, and he shouldn't be playing. Well, like, I think when you sleep on it and then look at it again the next day, like, look at the other teams in the league, like, Shells aren't firing. and all the money they have and all the money they can spend. And Derry, look at fucking Derry City, I mean, spending millions. And they're on the same points as us. So it's not just us, you know. It's.
Well, here, Richie, right? Just to go back to the point you were making a minute ago there, Owen, when we were talking about, you know, is all this sort of off-field stuff did it get to the team and did it get to the players and all that? You'd like to think that we have moved on from it, but like as we were told there during the week, and I'm not going to drop anyone in it, but one of the players was asked about it, and they basically turned around and said, well, Joanna Bourne doesn't pay the wages, so do you know what I mean? Our jobs are kind of all right, so I don't see that kind of anxiety creeping into the team itself. I can see the fact that Kevin was distracted and has been for the last probably 6 weeks now at this point, with everything going on off the pitch. That can definitely have some sort of an effect on the team. And I think we'd be naive to think it couldn't, because like a manager's job is to keep all his players happy, keep them all upbeat, training, you know, everything around that team and team bonding and all that kind of stuff. And if Kevin's distracted by the whole thing and it was taking some sort of a toll on him, and he said it, he admitted it himself that it was. He said he hadn't slept or ate for days, and I know that's a good few weeks ago now, but we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But then, you know, someone else is going to come along and say that's a load of bollocks, lads. Like once you cross that white line, if you make a stupid mistake on a football pitch, you know, that's football. That you know, what's going on off the pitch isn't going to affect how you perform, is it? Really, like, you know, or is it? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, hypotheticals, like, but you'd like to think that we have moved on from this.
Yeah.
And, you know, all that stuff now has been sort of put to bed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And look, as I said, look, we're probably way off the mark saying it's probably not, but I actually think, personally, it's just it's all the new players in the team, lads. Like, to me, they're still just not firing together as a group of players. Like, you can see some great signs there. Like, I really genuinely believe it's just a matter of time, boys, for this group of players to click. Like, if you look at it, like, what are we in? Are we 10? No, we're 11 games in, are we?
10.
10 games.
Right, we're 10 games in. So Ethan O'Brien has got 10 games under his belt in this league. Like, Godwin doesn't even have 10 games under his belt in this league yet.
No, he's only a couple of starts.
So already you can see how them two are adapting to it. They're only going to get better.
Yeah.
They're only going to get better. Like, so like, and that's the centre of your midfield. That's your heartbeat of the team. We're after changing the whole centre of that pitch to two players who just still don't know this league and are adapted to it every week. So I just think it's a matter of time, lads. I really do. And look, I get it, as I said already, I get people's frustrations, but I just think we need to be patient on this one, boys.
Yeah, look, I agree with you, but and it has to be said as well, right? Just on the game yesterday, the Galway game, like if Ethan O'Brien doesn't go off injured, I feel like we had the upper hand, obviously, in the first half and all that, and then he ends up going off injured, and we have to make a lot of changes. Him and Brandon Kavanagh looked like he got injured as well, but he didn't go off, but he wasn't comfortable. I don't know whether he should have stayed on the pitch, but probably the only reason he did is because Shane Farrell was out of the squad, and we didn't really have an awful lot of options. We had to bring Ryan on for Ethan O'Brien, and no disrespect to Ryan, but he just couldn't get into the game. He just couldn't get near the ball, and he just couldn't, you know, he wasn't putting his foot in the ball in the same way O'Brien was kind of retaining possession for us and getting the whole thing moving. Because he's playing with his kind of, he's looking there towards their goal, and he's trying to pick a pass going forward, and if he can't, he just retains possession of the ball and we don't give it away. But when he ended up going off injured, I just think the whole thing fell to shit. And then Galway brought on, what's your man's name? They brought on
Wardeck and Stephen Walsh.
Stephen Walsh. Stephen Walsh changed the fucking game when he came on. He just bullied us. He just
Yeah.
absolutely bullied us. And Twarek was only on the pitch and he fucking scored. He's up to, I think he's 5 goals this season. Man, they couldn't put the ball in the net for fucking years, and then all of a sudden he's scoring like mad.
Yeah, and even if does this of the Kevin Dotley's interview?
I think I did, yeah.
Yeah, he was on a bit Walsh. He said he wanted, and he bullied our centre halves, and he bullied our defence, and he said that's not us, that just doesn't happen to us. And that's down to individual players letting them do that, basically.
Yeah.
You know, like people blame Dotley and that, and like trying to call for his head. Like, Dotley didn't stand on the sideline and tell Keeley or Quinn, say, oh, she'll let Walsh do what he wants there, lads. That's down to individual players.
Yeah, look, that's a good point, Richie. This I do not get, right? Like, and again, if me aunt eat me balls, it didn't happen, but if Ethan O'Brien doesn't go off injured, if Kavanagh doesn't pick up that little niggle, whatever happened to him, if Shane Farrow was available to come on off the bench, which he wasn't because he was off injured, and thank God he's all right, because that looked really nasty on Friday against Bohs. We didn't talk about that, but it's small margins, and if these things didn't happen and we go and win that game last night, Kevin's a fucking hero. Everyone loves him, but we go and we concede a poxy fucking goal for them to go 3-2 up, and then we just can't get back into the game. And all of a sudden, everything's Kev's fault. Yeah. I don't understand this. How's that possible?
It's just an easy target, isn't he?
Yeah, but like, are the people that are calling for his head saying that, like, the main thing I picked up on from people saying, right, he's been there too long, it's gone stale, we didn't sign a striker, there's a little list of things why people are saying that he should be sacked. And if you sack him, who the fuck do you bring in?
Yeah, exactly,
yeah.
Who?
The Rodfather.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Roddy, yeah. He's waiting in the wings, is he? Fucking hell. Like, lads, I don't even want to be given this airtime here, like, by saying it, because I just think it's a ludicrous suggestion, but we have to talk about it, because there was a few on the Facebook stuff saying it. Like, it's not just one particular fucking idiot that's always saying it. There's other people out there saying it too.
Yeah. Well, lads, look, in fairness now, like, I think I'd be really, really worried if we are playing shit every week and we've seen nothing after 10 games. I think I'd be really worried.
Yeah, if we weren't competitive, like, it'd be concerning.
Yeah, I mean, like, we are seeing glimpses of it now, aren't we? As you say, Greg, so we're seeing good halves and then we're switching off for another half. So the signs are there. Like, it's just getting all the gel together now and just for it to click, As I said, I would be worried if you're playing shit every week and just not performing, but I can see good signs there.
Yeah, well, I mean,
maybe that's why some people are getting frustrated, and that they can see that as well, and we're not getting the results.
Yeah. Well, like,
that's football, isn't it?
That's football. Shit happens. Like,
yeah.
The best team doesn't always win the game, like.
Yeah, and you know what, lads, over the course of a season, you're not going to get good luck every game in the 4 rounds of football. Like, it will change, the swings and roundabouts of football.
Yeah, like, and again, right, I feel like, and I'm not going to single anyone out, and as I said, everyone is entitled to an opinion. And if you feel like it's time for Kev to move on and bring someone else in, right, that's valid. That's your opinion. But I do wonder if some of these people, and I know some of them who are saying it well, but I mean, there was a lot of murmuring and a lot of fucking noise up there on my way out of the ground, people giving out. But a lot of them people weren't there during the shit times. And I'm just not sure they realise how good we have it at the moment. Like, we are competitive. If you said, Richie, we're not going out there, we're not getting battered. Like, we got a bit of a hiding up in Pats, but we could have went 2-1 up in that game away in Inchicore. I mean, years ago, if that was the case, people would have been fairly kind of delighted with that, thinking, oh, we'll draw her in this league, we're competitive, we're in a bit of a battle. I just think as we kind of played out of our skin last year and pushed for Europe and all that the expectation levels just kind of went too high for some people. And as well as that, we always bring in the budget thing and we go like, look, we are where the bookies would probably have us. You know, on what kind of money we're spending in comparison to other clubs around us. You know what I mean? And also, and I hate saying it, but I think it's the fact that Craptown are playing all right as well and doing well and winning games that has people even more jittery because everyone had them nailed on to go down.
Absolutely, yeah. And look, I'd be guilty of that myself. And the boys were telling me to shut the fuck up on matches for the reaction. How's the Knock getting on? You know? And they're like, shut the fuck up about the Knock and worry about your own team. And they're right, you know? They're right, but you're spot on, Greg. So you're seeing them doing so well and they're having a good round. And they've got some big results. Look, fair play to them. I hate it, kills me to say it, but fair fucking play to them. But
how dare you, Richie? How dare you?
Fuck's sake, Richie, that's the yellow card.
But that won't last the season, lads. They won't keep that pace up for the season.
No, I've even noticed a couple of things with them. They've had 3 red cards already.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Their discipline.
Yeah.
They have had injuries as well. And they can see goals as well.
Yeah. I just put on the record, I still hate the cunts. But yeah, no, look, I definitely see where you're coming from, Greg, sorry. But my expectations this season was to finish in around 5th or 6th. And I still think we can do that. We're only 3 or 4 points off that position. I mean, and the people really think we were going to go and push to win the league this year or to get in the top 2 or 3. Because they do remember there's only 3 spots for European football, lads.
Yeah.
It's not 4. Like there was 4 last year because Rovers were in the cup and going for the league. It's 3 positions.
Yeah, look,
I don't think we're ever going to get that, lads, on the budget that we have. We're not.
I think it's a natural thing for people to sort of think we're going to overachieve because we've just been overachieving for a good few years now under Kev in relation to the money we spend. And we've said this a million times on this podcast. Like every league in the world, you look around, it's the clubs with the most money who win everything, and the clubs with the all money who don't win it and get relegated. So when you look at it, like, you know, Sligo seriously overachieve every year because they're on the lowest budget in the whole league. You know, community-owned club, and we've said it millions of times as well, fair play to them and all that. You know, we've got fucking millionaire owners, but they're not coming in splashing the cash. And I think we've said it as well in the past that we don't want them to come in and just throw a ton of money into the playing budget because it's not sustainable and it just doesn't feel right. We've done it once before and things ended up going tits up. We want to see them putting the money into the infrastructure. We want to see a new stadium being built. We want to see them, you know, putting a bar in and making the match day experience. And we want them to put the money into the community side of Drogheda United Football Club for the town. That's as important as winning anything, if you ask me. Football's about community and it's about building a family and building a community. That's what we want. We don't want them to come in and go, right, sign him. And I don't think, even if we had a massive playing budget, I don't think there's players in this league that probably still wouldn't come to Drogheda United because of the ground and maybe because of our history and all that. They just think, no, I'm not signing for Drogheda, no. Do you know, I get that feeling. But
yeah, no, absolutely
agree with that, but
yeah. Well, as well, like, I mean, throw loads of money at it isn't the answer.
No, look at Derry.
Look at Derry. It's not the fucking answer. And you're right, Greg. So, like all that stuff behind the scenes that's going on, I think people just don't realise and look at that. What's going on? Like we are building something special here at the club. But and look, I'm not having a go at people, but people's expectations, they just want to see us win on the pitch.
Yeah, it's about more than that.
Yeah, I just don't think it works that way, lads, for a club like us.
No,
it
has to be a bit more than that, lads. And the other thing about it is I find it very ironic, right, where you've got Drogheda United supporters coming out after the game yesterday calling for Kevin's head, saying he should move on. And then you've got Derry fans fucking in the last few days saying we want Doherty. We'd love Kevin. You're going to go on here, hold on a minute. There's something wrong here, like.
It really is, yeah. Well, like, in fairness now, you made a good point, I think was online, I was reading it. You said, look at the amount of managers Waterford have gone through.
Yeah.
It's not the answer. They're sitting
No.
bottom of the division.
Yeah.
It's not the answer. Like, I love what we have with Doherty, that's the stability. I love that Doherty's he's the manager, he's the boss, everybody respects him. It's his call on match days. It's like, I've heard some great stories around the club about what Doherty is like, and it's brilliant, so it is, and he's in charge, so he is, and that's what you want from your manager. You want your manager in charge of the football club, making all the big decisions,
Right, lads, just to throw this in there as well, though, because I know people are going to accuse us of just being, the three of us are always agreeing with each other and yous are all fucking pro-Kev. Like, I am pro-Kev, and I know you two are as well, and I won't deny that, but, like, does Kevin get a free pass here? Like, we haven't been critical of him at all. Like, I don't think I've criticised Kevin fuck all on this podcast, because I didn't feel a need to. But, does he deserve any criticism for what happened yesterday? Because he keeps picking Denison, say, for instance, and there's a few people in the club that would be of the opinion that Denison should be dropped because he's just not fucking cutting the mustard. Like, that's Kev's decision. Should Kev drop Denison for the Waterford game?
Go for Owen.
I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not, you don't have an answer, but
it's a tricky one. Like, obviously, Kev's been able to rely on Denison for the last 2-3 years. He knows what he's getting with him. Taddy's the backup keeper. Right, Kev's seen him in training, but he's only really seen him play, 1-2 matches.
Why did you bring him into the club then?
Well, because you need a backup keeper. Like, that's...
Yeah, but you bring in a backup keeper that you're confident that can step in. What happens if Denison gets injured? Well, fuck then. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I know, but if Kev thought Taddy was a better keeper than Denison, should he be starting? Or is it just because Kev has a relationship built up with Denison over the last couple of years that you won't drop him? I'm not sure.
I think there has to be an element of that own. Like, you build up
he trusts him.
There's loyalty there as well. And he has to give him a chance. Just because he hasn't been on it for the last few games. All right, I'm dropping him. He can fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't do that with players because you won't build any trust or any loyalty with a player if you just drop him the first sign of him, dropping a bit of form. Right, you're gone.
And it's harder to drop a keeper than any other position, like.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Because you back all alternatives, like. Like, say he decides to drop Mark Doyle, you can put Bossacan, you can put Alua. His options, like, doesn't really have many options with goalkeeper.
I don't know. Yeah. I think they live in fantasy land there. I was saying he'd bring in Bossacani because you're never going to see him kick a ball.
No, I just use that as an example that he is an option. I'm not suggesting that happens.
I'm kind of joking, to be honest with you, but we were even saying that again yesterday. He's like, what is the crack? Again, that was a criticism that was leveled at him, saying, why have we got Bossacane and I can never remember his name because I've never seen him play, the Portuguese lad. Why are them two sitting there? Yeah, Cardo, sorry. Why have we got Bossacane and Cardo sitting there getting a wage? They must be on €1,000 between them a week, and then there was a big debate about that. And the minimum wage is €426 a week, so it has to be the guts of a grand. It is a valid point. Why are the two of them at the football club? And we could have went out and maybe spent the money that we're paying them to and got another half decent striker. But then where do you get the half decent striker from? Because there is no strikers.
No, that's it. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I'd be just come back to the point on Doherty there, not being criticised. Doherty, like, of course, every manager should be open to criticism. That's like, I'm sure Doherty criticised himself, but I'd be definitely on the side as a football fan. It's the fucking players' responsibility, lads. Like, do your job. I don't want to sound like right here, but bloody do your job on the pitch. Stop looking for excuses. Stop trying to blame others. Like, Stephen Walsh come on yesterday and bullied us, lads. Bullied us. That wasn't Doherty's fault.
No, I agree. There's nothing he can do in that.
No, I remember, it could have been only last week, that was one of Doherty's interviews. He said, himself and Darragh Doyle gave these players everything. Like, the amount of detail they go into, tactics, information. Like, that's all they can do is give that to the players. It's up to the players then to go and do their job on the pitch. And it's up to Dennison then to be a goalkeeper and take control of his game. It's up to Keeley, it's up to Quinn. Like, football fans can't help them on that side. The manager can't. It's up to them. Like, do your job.
Yeah, and also there's a lot to be said for credit in the bank as far as what Kevin has done and what Kevin has achieved. Like, you know, I know he's a really likeable fella and all that, and sometimes you can kind of get sucked in by that a little bit in football and thinking, he's a great fella, you know what I mean? So how could you possibly get rid of him? You know, he left his job, and you know what I mean, blah blah blah. He has been brilliant for this football club since he stepped into the role when Clancy left. He's a very, very likeable, lovable fella. I think he does a really good job in the main. And as you said, I do criticise from time to time. Sometimes I think he should change things up, and then that comes back to bite you in the arse then, because he changes things up and it doesn't go well, and you're thinking, oh fuck, right, we should have just stuck with the 11 from last week and all that. But that's just football. That's just, you know, banter. People talking about, team selection. Why is he starting to Lua again? And blah, 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 blah. We don't know what goes on in training. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We don't know whether Cardo and Bossacane are absolutely dreadful or what. I don't know. Or whether they're just not ready or what the situation is. We don't know. We could be here all day guessing. But I just don't want to be sort of fucking not kind of picking up on these things, because other people are, and you know, I don't want to be coming across as the fucking Kevin Doherty fan club every week and not criticising them. If there's things to criticise them for, I think we should, and I think we do. But I can't. And just kind of reiterate what you're saying, Richie. I can't criticise Kevin Doherty for what happened yesterday. You know, Ethan O'Brien goes off injured. That to me changes the game.
Yeah.
Quinn, I think Quinn was at fault for, I think it was the second goal, the second Galway goal for me. He headed the ball out, and then the ball came back and just went over his head, and he wasn't aware. He wasn't sort of alive enough to it for me. The third goal we scored, they just seemed to walk in and just poke the ball into the net. There was nobody done anything.
Yeah.
You know, you can't blame Kevin for that.
No, absolutely not. And like, Ron say, right, you should be changing up. Like, in fairness, we don't have the biggest squad in the world, lads.
No, we don't.
As long as we've got another 15 players there at training, biting at the bit to get in. You know what I mean? Like, it's not Chelsea or Arsenal or Man City here. Like, we don't have them resources. We don't have them squads. It's so much different. Like, League of Ireland football is so much different. And I don't know, are people watching too much Premiership football in England and then comparing it to League of Ireland football, because it's bloody chalk and cheese, lads. You know, like, this is such a competitive, hard league, and it's fine margins. Like, there isn't one poor team in this league at the minute. Is that right? Waterford struggling, but they went and got a draw against Rovers the other night.
Yeah.
You know, Sligo beat us. Like, Sligo picked up a couple of results. Look at Dundalk. A bloody step, they were at that door last season, and they bloody pulled themselves out of it, and they're flying up the top half of the league. This league is so hard and so competitive. You know, you have to fight for every point.
Yeah, no, look, again, going round in kind of circles, but yeah, I will criticise when I feel like criticism is warranted, but in this case, I don't think it is. And you raised another good point there, Richie. Like, I felt at times yesterday, you're looking at that bench, and because Farrell was out, you're going to go, right, what do we do here? He's going to bring Ryan on for Ethan O'Brien. That was obvious. So he goes and he brings Ryan on. Ryan, I think Ryan struggled and found it hard to get into the game. I mean, he hasn't played hardly any football. So you're looking at going into the game now down Waterford. If Ethan O'Brien's still out, which he probably will be, because I think it was his grind, so that could be a while. Like, you know, we're still kind of, I wouldn't say bare bones. We have a better bench than we did last year, but we still don't. You know, we don't have a massive riches on the bench to be calling on. Like,
No, absolutely not. So,
A
like,
lot of inexperience there as well, and lads that just won't get a game, like we said already. Cardo, Posacane, Darry hasn't featured in weeks either. Like,
now, like, I do have to agree now, I'm just going back on that point, like, what's the point of paying them two lads a wage every week? And
yeah,
they're not getting the kick, lads, they're not getting the looking,
yeah,
you
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah, I have to agree on that one, I do.
It
I think they
isn't.
were contacted from last year, were they?
So, are they on the last year, do you reckon?
Yeah, that's what. So it wasn't as if. So maybe Kev does want rid of them, but they're under contract. Couldn't get.
Yeah,
Who knows? Just
that's,
speculating. Like,
yeah, and that's it. And like, as you always say, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We just don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, but Owen, like, who gave them the contract?
yeah.
You know, why did he do that? Why did he bring Cardo in at the tail end of last year and kind of, why didn't he just say, right, come in, stay with us till the end of the season? I'm not sure whether you're allowed to do that or not. Do you have to give a year contract?
Oh, no, I'm not sure. I thought there is a minimum length on it, but I'm not sure what it is.
I'm not sure either. But you
I
would
thought it
wonder
was
why,
maybe a year, but
because he's seen something
yeah,
in him.
yeah. He hasn't worked out. See, Costa went on loan then. Like, he could have went on another loan, but yeah. Again,
Sure,
we
he
don't
did.
know what's going on behind closed door, what's going on in training. So
In fairness, he did fuck all up in Glenavon. I think he scored one goal.
yeah, well, to be fair to him, like Glenavon were shocking. Like, so it wasn't all his fault, but yeah, he didn't do much up there.
No,
Look, lads. I mean, if we go back to the say the money side of it, right? Like, say it's €1,000 between the two of them. We could be way off that mark, but say it is €1,000. What striker are you getting to pay €1,000 a week in this league? Because I can guarantee you, Sean Boyd's on more than €1,000 for shells a week,
Podge Hammond is as well, I can guarantee you that. Michael
and
Duffy
so
is. Yeah.
and so is Gaffney. Say Gaffney. Now I love Gaffney. I think Gaffney would suit us, but guarantee you he's not getting €1,000 a week, lads. He's getting well more than that.
So is Josh
No,
Thomas.
Yeah. So like, right, people say, oh, right, go and get a strike for €1,000 a week. Who? What striker do you get for 1,000 a week? Like, best of luck to going and finding a striker that can do it for €1,000 a week. A striker that's worth his fucking
Yeah.
worth his gold. You know what I mean? They're not out there, lads.
And here, Richie, just to say, I'm like, I'm by no means slating Bossacane and Caro because I haven't got a fucking clue how good they are or how good they aren't.
No, no.
I am just picking up on the point that, you know, other people were mentioning them because the lads that are sat on a bench week in, week out, travelling the length and breadth of the country, and we never see them kicking a ball. Like, I mean, literally not once has either of them kicked the ball this season. And it is kind of strange, especially when you have a fairly light squad like we do. You know, you'd be thinking, I'm not on about the whole bring in a striker on €1,000. I think that was just a throwaway comment from someone on social media. Like, they were just adding up the minimum wage is 430 odd quid and saying that's the guts of £1,000 that we could be paying to another striker. But, like, it has to be, you have to kind of pick up on it and go like, well, you know, was there some sort of old workhorse League of Ireland player out there that would have come to us that you can kind of throw into a game? Like, we brought in, what's his face last year, the centre half, what was his name? Not last year, the year before. Webster. You know, players like that, older players coming to the end of their career. Dundalk brought in a couple from bohs who seem to be playing out of their skin. You know, experienced lads. I wouldn't say that. At the end of their careers, they're probably up there at the 30, 31, 32 kind of age group, I would imagine. You know, was there players like that were kind of knocking around the place? So instead of having two really inexperienced kids sitting on the bench that never kick a ball, do you bring in, you know, a couple of old workhorses? But then again, that's the whole approach. Do you want to try and build for the future and bring in youth and, you know, but a mixture of youth and experience seems to be serving, say, the likes of Dundalk fairly well. Do we not have enough experience in that squad now?
Yeah. I don't know, lads. It's like, just even going back on the two, like, on Cardo and Boscani, like, I don't think they're better than Doyle and Davis. Like, they're obviously not better than them. Like, Doherty's seeing it every week in training. Like, I wouldn't be starting Cardo over Warren Davis every week. Warren Davis is miles ahead of him.
Yeah.
You know, so, like, Doherty's seeing that every week. But then that brings you back to the point then, well, why is he beside him?
Yeah.
Why is he there? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I know everybody's saying, oh, you have to play Cardo. We get a look at him or see Bossacani, but they're obviously not up to that level, lads. If they were, he'd be playing them.
Well, he did play Bossacani the season before last.
He played a couple of games, did he? I don't think he ever started, did he, for us?
I'm trying to remember. If he did, it was only maybe one game. But, yeah.
And you know what? What's funny about it is it's probably that goal he scored against Shelbourne. And everyone was like, oh my God, it's one of the best goals you've ever seen. And people have that in the back of their mind when they think of him and just go, oh, fucking hell, give him a go. We know what he's capable of. But obviously, look, I'm not going to turn this into the Bossacani show. We've probably yacked about him too long here, but it is slightly frustrating when you look at it and the lack of depth and two boys sat on the bench that just don't look like they're ever going to kick a ball for us. But look, we'll move on. We are away to Waterford on Friday in the RSC. Not a happy hunting ground for us in the last few years. I can't remember the last time we won down there, to be fair. And we have to travel with no fans. So what do we make of this one?
Yeah, cheers, Greg. So I was actually a little bit up for that where I was Friday, but I'm not now.
Sorry, Rich.
Oh, look. I know
shy.
Yeah, but you said it's not been a happy fucking hunting ground for us.
No.
But look, lads, it's simple as this, and there's no two ways about it. They have to fucking win.
Yeah.
They have to. Like,
there'll only be 3 points in it if they win.
Yeah, I'm going to say it, lads. I'm going to say it. It's a 6-pointer.
I've made that in a while.
No. But, yeah, they have to win, don't they?
Yeah, they have to not fucking lose. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Even a draws though, like, to me a draw is no good.
Oh, I don't know about no good. But we
want to win it. Draw early.
Yeah, we have to, like, at the minute I just can't see where our wins are coming from, right? I think we're capable of picking up a couple of points here and there, which we did against Bohs and Rovers and Derry. We have to be beating Waterford and Sligo, the teams below us. I just think the draw is no good against them. That's just my opinion on it.
Right. Again, I'm trying not to be too negative, but it's one of them games that, like, us going over to Sligo there a few weeks ago, that was a banker in a lot of people's eyes. Is, oh, draw, we're going to go and win over there. And any time we're expected to go somewhere and win, and we play any of them teams, we fucking don't. We tend to put in the big performances against Rovers and Bohs and, you know, the big boys. But when we end up playing somebody right down the bottom, we struggle. We fucking struggle to try and break them down.
And come here now, lads, would you still be happy with a point next Friday?
I wouldn't be happy with it, but I wouldn't be devastated with it either. I just don't want to lose.
Yeah, I wouldn't be overly annoyed if we drew. Like, it depends on the context of the game as well. Like, we could be 1-0 down.
True. And
we equalise in the 95th minute. Like, that's a good point. But
like we did last year, Ron. Remember Keely's goal from the set piece in the 92nd minute? Yeah. And the players didn't even celebrate because we were shite that night and we just about got out with a point.
Yeah. Oh, look, lads, I'm definitely not saying we've got every right to go out here and win. That's not what I'm saying, because, like, Waterford drew at Rovers here, Waterford, didn't they? Was it last Friday?
Yeah, they've a draw against Bohs and Waterford in the last 2 games.
Yeah, like, so they are capable, like, but I just think if we have to start kicking on and we have to start climbing that table and looking up the table instead of below us, you have to turn these draws into wins. especially against Waterford and Sligo.
And lads, like, again, right, not to be negative here, but we could be going into this game with the bare bones. We could be missing Ethan O'Brien in the midfield. We could be missing Shane Farrell still. You don't know about the protocol with a head injury. I know he was there yesterday and he looked fine. He was having a laugh and everything, but you still don't know. O'Brien could be out as well. So it could be tough.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thanks everyone. We'll be back next.
I was just waiting for Owen to come in with something positive.
Yeah. Come on, Borger. Help us out here.
No.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, look, you'd like to hope we could go there and win. Like, I'm just looking at Waterford's results and that they've only scored 2 goals at home this year out of 5 games.
Have they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but they're unbeaten in 2 against bohs and rovers. Like, yeah, like we kind of just need a full 90-minute performance to get the win.
Yeah.
I said I don't know what way it's going to work. Like, I'd hope Ethan O'Brien's not out for too long. The fact he tried to continue on initially was maybe thinking it's not very serious, but look, I could rule him out for a week or 2. I'd say, Farrell's probably a bit iffy whether he can get back or not, just in terms of, I think if you're concussed around, you're talking at least a week. I think you have to do tests and stuff to pass.
I'd say he's not training, so if he's not training, he won't play. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't be overly concerned now having to start Ryan. Like, I think Ryan is fine when he starts a match and he's in it from more goal. I think he might struggle.
Didn't he start against Sligo?
Yeah, and he wasn't in that one.
Yeah, no, he wasn't, but either was the rest of them. There was another 10 players around him that wasn't in it either. But
yeah, that's true. He didn't have. He might have. If he's playing Friday, it could be him and Godden in the middle. So
yeah, I just think just even from playing football myself, I always found it hard coming into a match. It's very hard to pick up the pace of a match, you know. But I'd have no doubt that Ryan starting a match, like, maybe we're missing his experience as well at the minute, are we, in the team?
Could be,
yeah.
You know? He's on the pitch, isn't he?
You know what? Maybe it's a sort of resort back to type from last year as well. If you're missing O'Brien in there and you have to bring Ryan in, maybe it's, we're just going to go back to what we've been doing. As you said, like, we've been playing a little bit more ball. Maybe Friday night's not the time for it. It's just go down there and absolutely batter them. Long throws, fucking set pieces, get the ball up to get the ball out wide the whole time to the wingers and just try and get crosses into the box and do as much as we can to win that fucking game. Because I know, Waterford might be bad, but they've got 2 or 3 seriously good players, and especially in the middle of the park, like.
Oh yeah, they could definitely do damage to you.
It's defensively, I think, that they're not great.
No, they're not sure either, are we, at the minute? Look, if we give them up a chance, like, Amon could easily smash one in. Like, he's a danger man.
Yeah, I just think we need to get our keeper on our back 5 back to last year's performances to that level.
Yeah,
and I think we get them 5 singing again, playing to the levels we know we can play at. I think everything else will just click into position.
Yeah, and as we said earlier on, we have seen sporadic moments of that where we've been really, really good defensively. Like, we were very, very good defensively against bohs. We were very good against rovers. We've had our moments. We know what they're capable of, and I know it's obvious, but they just need to put in the 90-minute performance and just not concede, because we are creating chances. And if we weren't creating chances, I'd be even more worried.
Yeah,
but the fact that we are creating chances, like Mark Doyle on his own has probably had about 5 or 6 seriously fucking gilt-edged chances in the last few games alone that he just hasn't put away, unfortunately. Like, he did put one away yesterday, but he has had other chances. But Look, I suppose before we go, just to say sort of some off the pitch stuff, the what's happening in the bar seems to be working really, really well. I know Adfal was there playing a few tunes on Friday night during the Bohs game, before and during the Bohs game, and the place was absolutely packed and hopping. It was like a fucking sing-song. It felt like a proper gig at it.
It was class, wasn't it?
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it was good atmosphere, yeah. And there was DJ yesterday, I think it was Josh Murtaugh was playing a few tunes on Monday, so yeah. It's a great little thing to have, like,
it
generates a bit of a buzz, gets more money for the club as well, so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's a real positive. Is there anything else around the club, lads, you want to talk about? Is there any other news or anything before we go?
No, look, just as you said earlier, just hopefully we do see Shane Farrell back on the pitch. I tell you, lads, it was scary, wasn't it, when he went down?
Yeah, he's seeing that.
When there's no one around him, like,
Yeah, and just like, obviously now the ref takes a lot of stick now in games, but I thought he was brilliant, the referee.
Yeah.
He was so quick to react, he was on it. But just that silence that falls on the ground when something like that happens. I remember happening to Warren against Galway a couple of seasons ago.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
That was down at the cross lanes then, yeah.
That's right. It's a horrible feeling. So look, just a big shout out to everybody, like the medical staff, especially the Bohs medical staff as well, were quick on the pitch.
Yeah.
They were, yeah.
So look, well done to everybody on that one.
Yeah. Thank fuck he was okay. Jesus, I was worried. I thought, oh man, that does not look good. And he wasn't moving, like he was unconscious.
Yeah, apparently he got sick.
Yeah, right.
In the pitch, I think that's what the referee
concussion,
yeah,
that's concussion big time.
Yeah, and I think it was a bit of panic then kicked in as well with Shane, and he panicked a bit, which is natural, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I got boot in the head years ago playing football in school, and usual school football, the lads, you're alright. Me after getting a flying boot to the side of the head, you're alright. Yeah, of course I'm not alright. But you end up playing the rest of the game anyway. I remember getting the bus home from school, literally walking into the house. I was living in Glenmore Drive, and I puked me ring up, so I did, and I was in bits for about 2 days after. So concussion's not good. It's not funny. Like, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah, no, definitely is. Yeah, what was there? No, it's a frightening thing to see on the pitch.
Yeah, and on another note, I was actually talking about this with my dad the other day. Like, I mean, are they going to have to start introducing some sort of protocol like they do in the rugby, where if a player gets a knock on the head like that, and even if it doesn't look that serious, if it's a head injury, like, should they be brought off and some sort of assessment done and a temporary sub brought on, and if they're deemed after 10 minutes fit to go back on, it's the exact same as the rugby, like, because things like that happened the other day, that could have been a lot worse for him.
Yeah, and like, in fairness, what harm would it do to have that introduced to the game? Because it's only going to protect the players. Like, just do it. Just bring that rule in.
And I know there'll be, like, people will be saying, oh yeah, but then managers going to tell a player to go down or something and pretend he's got a head injury so he can come off for 10 minutes and, mess with the game and change tactics or whatever. I don't know, but I think that's nonsense. I think in the rugby it works really, really well. I know a lot of people who listen to this probably hate rugby, but when you look at it in the rugby, it really works.
Yeah, see, it's an independent doctor that they use in the rugby.
We wouldn't have one of them, would we?
I'm not sure. There was a lad in an FAI jacket, an Ireland jacket. And I thought he was a doctor. I don't know if he's part of the Bohs medical team, but he wasn't wearing Bohs top. So I wasn't aware, is he like an FAI doctor? I wasn't sure on it. But,
fuck, I don't know whether it's an FAI doctor.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on it, but yeah, the way it works in rugby is the independent doctor decides whether they can go on or not. So the teams can't manipulate that sort of thing.
Okay, right. Well, that's fair. I suppose if we don't have an independent doctor in a League of Ireland ground, would you have it in First Division grounds as well? It's probably a big expense, but I don't know. Look, it's just to throw it out there anyway.
Yeah. It shouldn't go down to money anyway, shouldn't it? Not?
No, absolutely not.
No,
Safety first. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right, lads, I think we're going to wrap it up there. I'll get the usual predictions for Waterford. We'll start with you, Owen.
I'll go 1-0 win to us.
Alrighty, Richie.
Yeah, look, obviously we're to speak about it now. It's tough at the minute, isn't it? It's so hard what's going on. But look, I think this team's going to be fine. I think it's going to click for us. Great place to start Friday night. I think we'll get a 1-0 win as well. And we'll be fine, lads. This team will be fine. Onwards and upwards.
Alright, good stuff. I'm going to stay on the positive note. I'm going to go for a 2-1. Yeah, fingers crossed. Right, boys, we leave it there. And I was going to say we'll see us on Friday, but we won't. We'll be stuck at home watching it on the telly. Oh, and by the way, the League of Ireland seems to have disappeared off the dodgy box. So if anyone who's listening to this wants to watch the game on Friday, you're going to have to pay for it through LOI TV.
Yeah, pay for you scabby bastards. Come on then.
Nobody that listens to this has a dodgy box, lads.
No, I know, yeah.
Yeah, I've never even heard of a dodgy box before now, but yeah.
No.
I have heard a little rumour though, for the last couple of weeks, there's been no LOI TV on the dodgy boxes. So just to let you know, not that it affects us.
Yeah. Well, look, and I know this Friday, obviously we can't go, but you shouldn't be watching it anyway on League of Ireland TV. Get your ass to the game.
Yeah, but you're not allowed going Fridays. You're going to have to watch on LOI TV.
That's what I said. I know this Friday. I mean, going forward.
Oh, you mean normally?
Yeah. You shouldn't be watching it on League of Ireland TV anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Some people have to, Richie. Some people have to.
I know. I'm only slagging.
I'll be in Spain on Friday, so I'll be watching it on LOI TV on the phone from Spain. So,
what kind of fan are you?
Is that right? Fucking life of Riley you have. How many trips are you after having in the last month?
I was only in Prague. Like that was football business. That.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Civil servants' wage,
just my
Richie,
leg,
huh?
Yeah, it's great life, huh?
We pay his wages to go fucking swanning round the world.
Oh yeah.
Right, go on. I'll talk to you, lads.
We'll be here all night if we get into that.
Right, go on. See you later.
All the best, guys. Good luck. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Jordan.
Good man.
Come on,
Say it again, Kyle. I'm recording you now.
1-0, Jordan.
All right. Kyle Dooley's prediction, everybody.
Yeah.